Good afternoon, good morning to people out there in the rest of the world. Your boy Carcino here. This is an unexpected live that I'm doing right now because I saw the interview with Steve Harvey. I didn't realize so many people had sent this to me. Monique was on the show with Steve Harvey, and they got into a discussion about all the things that was happening with her. And Steve was trying to explain to her where she was wrong. This is not a black issue, it's not a white issue. This is a money issue. And I heard Steve, and I was listening closely to Steve because what Steve was trying to do, and I understood what he was trying to say, and I really wanted to focus in on what Steve had to say because Steve was coming from a whole different place. And like he's never been this candid before. Nobody in his position has ever been this candid. And the problem is he's stuck in a rock and a hard place. Is how do I appease the brothers, but still don't piss off the people that pay me? I love my people, but I love this money. So what you were seeing was the fact that I was listening closely to what Steve was gonna say because I already know how Steve is. So when you know what Steve's about and you know what he is, I wanted to hear how he was going to explain this because he got Monique in there and she's somebody who's 100% integrity, 100% on that level. So I wanted to hear Steve. I said, wow, let me see how this is going to work out because Steve, Steve is all about the bag. Of course, you don't work that many jobs and get that many platforms because you're not on the level. Believe me, you're chosen for these positions. They could take any Joe Blow and give them this position, but they need certain people to pull this off. So the fact that they chose Steve and Steve's good at what he does, Steve has more white followers as much as he have black, and he don't want to accept the apple cart. So I understood where he was gonna come from 21 Jump Street. So when Monique was there, I said, "Oh, this is gonna be great because I want to see what Steve has to say." And sure enough, when it got to the point where Steve was boxed in a corner, because she basically let Steve lead himself there with the conversation. Steve is trying to explain there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and he didn't like what was happening with her, but he also didn't like the fact because they came up different. See, before Steve got the bag, Steve was a broke comic, used to be on radio, and was funny, but he was funny only to us, the brothers. White people thought he was loud and annoying. They did not like Steve Harvey. He was too loud. He got turned down from being on a comedy tour where there were other white comedy actors that he was funnier than coming up. This is back when he was living in his car. He was taking trips, going to do shows, and then he went and auditioned for this big comedy show that was coming up. And Steve never got the part because the white people who were sitting there, these guys who never did comedy before in their life, these are the producers of the show. And they do the big old thing and they said, he's just too loud for my people are not gonna like him. He's too loud. That's when he had the big old he had a fro then. He had the high top fade, he had the big old bushy black mustache, and he was just loud. This was way before he had to show anything. And he got turned down because people said he was loud. And then one of the managers told him, said, well, if you just toned it down a little, if you toned it down a little, Steve, like take your voice down an octave, you'll be so much bigger. You're just too loud. That's what they used to say about Steve. And you know what Steve did? Steve decided to listen. He started to talk calm. He stopped being loud. Now, as he did some things that compromised himself because Bernie had jumped ahead of him. Okay, Bernie Mac jumped ahead of Steve Harvey. And Steve didn't like that. Bernie was getting big roles. Bernie was going to be a huge movie star. He was in a movie that Guess Who and everything else. Bernie did it without compromising Bernie. And Steve didn't understand that. They told Steve he was too loud. Steve Harvey was the host of the Kings of Comedy. He was the host. Bernie is the one that closes the show because you can't follow Bernie. His type of comedy, Steve couldn't do. Steve was great and everything else, but Steve used to be more loose and more loud. And they stopped Steve from being loud. They silenced him. They said, be more docile and we'll get you in them homes. And that's what he is now. If you listen to Steve now, he don't talk loud, he whispers. If anybody remembers Steve Harvey, he was the loudest comedian that ever probably was. No, Steve is funny. No, don't get that wrong. Steve Harvey used to be very funny. I'm serious. Steve used to be funny. I won't take that from him at all. So Steve used to be funny, man. Steve had some of the funniest jokes I heard when I saw him at the show. Steve was hilarious. Steve would come out and give you his opinion on stuff, and it'd be funny because it's exactly when he talked about how a white person get fired and how a black person get fired. Oh, you can't fire Jimmy the same way you didn't fire John. Jimmy gonna raise all kind of hell. Oh man, I ain't signing it. It says so, boy. I ain't signing it. That's the truth. This is exactly how they going out. But Bernie was that in your face funny. Bernie was so funny, he made white folks had to check him out because he was just too funny. Brothers was like, man, this dude here is too funny. He's too in your face. He was from the south side of Chicago, and he didn't care if you knew about it. I ain't got time to be playing with these motherfuckers. Man, look here. Yeah, I'm black. I started to wear some blue contacts and blue contacts eyes on and really funk with you. I ain't got time to play with them. You got time like it is. You know you're black when you can put fingerprints on charcoal. Look at him over there, looking like look at him. He happy as can be, boy. Happy as a sissy with a bag of dicks, I swear. Burn you something out. Now, we circle all around to get to this point here, because I wanted a lot of you guys to be here when we get to it. Steve sat down and talked to Monique because he came from there. And it's always the guys that came from something. It's always those guys that came from it that understand it the most. He comes from an area where he's seen it before. Steve been there. He been on those comedy tours. Steve been through hell. Steve Harvey been through it all, y'all. So he's been there, seen it all, done it all. Ain't nothing you can tell him about the comedy circuit, about struggling, not having nothing, sleeping in his car, nobody really looking out for him, and he had to grind to get to where he's at. So now that he's there, he's become a prisoner. Steve has successful books. His family's good. Steve don't want to jeopardize that. Steve is like, I'm eating steak. What do I want to mess this up for? So when they got into it and he went from listening to trying to convey the ideals that he don't even believe in. But he's trying to tell her, this ain't about because you're black. This ain't because they're white. This ain't that issue. This ain't about a black and white thing. This is about a money thing. He was telling what's really going on here. Those were the key words of the entire thing when he said that. He said, this is not a black thing. This is not a white thing. This is a money thing. Straight up. Then he said something that was even more shocking. He said, something that was really shocking to me. He said, Monique mentioned integrity. And he says, well, I can't jeopardize my integrity for my family to suffer just for my integrity. Am I supposed to let my family go ahead and suffer for my integrity? I got family members, my family out there, they gonna be struggling and starving and suffering just for my integrity? He actually said that. Those were the two key things Steve said in that entire interview that everybody should have heard. Let's listen to Steve.
The Sydney that he really is out here. Let me tell you, not that flexing. Let me tell you, gotta flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. It's the money game. But we in the money game, and we cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for is not be one of you. We're in the money game. But let me tell you what the game is before the money game. Before the money game, it's called the integrity game, and we've lost the integrity worrying about the money. But no, and wait a minute. If I crumble. If my children crumble, my grandchildren crumble, I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement that is the truth.
That was the biggest thing I've ever heard. And I hope you guys listened and paid attention to what he just said. He says, I cannot, the people that's dependent on him, he cannot let them down. Over him making a statement for his integrity. So what is he saying is that Dr. Martin Luther King should have not made a statement. He should have said, my wife, my kids, I don't want them to suffer. Just so I can hold on to my integrity. He should have just said, look, I'm going to just stay at home, be a reverend, and get this money. Malcolm X, he could have just continuously got money from the Nation of Islam. Kept doing his speeches, getting them big checks, saying, hey, I don't need to make a statement for my integrity. If your family's gonna crumble because you can't make a statement and you gotta be a slave to somebody to get them money and they're gonna crumble without it, then they're not in a good position. You're not in a good position. So that shows you all the money in the world. You're telling your grandkids and your great-great-grandkids that forget the integrity. Be a slave to somebody who has money. And do what they say and don't toe the line. Don't cross it for no integrity. You're teaching that to them. Like, oh, I'm sacrificing everything for them. Then you built nothing for yourself. You built nothing for yourself, Steve. All the Steve Harvey show, all the spinning the wheel on all the shows you're doing, you built no platform for yourself. If you're a slave to the mentality that your integrity means nothing, that means that they can replace you anytime they want, Steve, and bring in another and cast you right out. How's that gonna do? I bet you be mad then when they cut your money off and throw you out. Then you're gonna be like, this is some bull. I was loyal. I was integrity. I stood with you. And they're gonna say, we appreciate those years of service. And guess what's gonna happen? Your family gonna crumble. Because you didn't build anything behind it. So if they gonna suffer anyway, If you got integrity and what you fighting for is the right thing, they're gonna support you. You think Betty Shabazz didn't get behind Malcolm and said, we know we gonna have to go through hell, but we see the purpose, we see the light at the end of going through the hell? You think Marcus Garvey and all the rest of them saying, hey, we know we gonna go through it? These women had to take care and raise the kids by themselves. Their husbands ain't there no more. Their spouses had to know that that was a reality, dealing with what they were dealing with. But you said integrity don't matter for you to make a statement. It's not about making a statement. It's about sticking up for what your self-worth is. If my self-worth is more than what you value it, we have a problem. I'm not going to take it. I'm in the position I'm in because of my integrity. My integrity. Do you know I could be in that chair with that tubby academics in a heartbeat if that's what was my goal and obsession in life? If that was my goal to say, man, I want to go work for Comcast, I want to do this, I could have done that years ago. That's easy. I had the people to put me there. I would have been put in that position because he's another prime example of somebody who has no integrity, who would do anything for money. He has that same ideology as him. I had all that stuff offered to me. When my Truth Behind series came out, it was much bigger than his platform before he even got. I wasn't backed by anybody. I had no network backing me whatsoever. My channel blew up off of people. Exactly. They made the movie King Kong and they used 50 Cent's image when they was sketching the gorilla for King Kong. If you watch the King Kong movie and you watch the movements of them and you go, wait a minute, this is kind of weird. It's kind of resembling 50 Cent, the rapper. So it went a long way. I told 50 to sue. I told 50 to sue. I showed the pictures side by side in which they used the photos to use to try to make King Kong. They had King Kong standing in the same poses that 50 Cent was doing. I showed that in a video. People don't believe me. Oh, the new King Kong. You watch my video. I actually got the video footage, like the photographs of Kong and the photographs of 50 Cent and how they used the computer thing to do it. I told you they did some dirty stuff. Just type in 50 Cent and King Kong. That's then maybe it'll come up. But see, Steve That's why I wanted to hear Steve and what he was gonna say because I knew he was gonna speak on the side of the company. He's a company man, and he thinks of a man who's scared to lose his job. They only got Steve in this spot because Steve is a good person. He's a good guy in the company. But as soon as they find another show that they want to put in there of another white person who's like, Daddy, I need a show, they're gonna stick that white person in T Steve's slot. Steve will be cast out. He has no position of power. He has nothing. He's a slave to money. And because you become a slave to money and you put that as your self-worth, this is what happens to you. See, everything is work. If you built your platform, I'm not saying everybody got to start off being a boss. I'm not saying that. If you work for somebody, have a plan, have a design to say, okay, I'm going to set up my own self so that I don't need them. I'm going to have multiple revenue streams coming in. So if this don't work out or this is, I could be my own boss. I'm only going to be here for a short period of time. I'm not going to be here for the rest of my life doing this and living up to you. I built myself a platform. I got a whole thing where I can go platform or where I can move. Let's get this thing going. You got to have a direction. If you're just in this thing just to be in this thing, you look like a fool. You look like some type of idiot, some type of fool that would actually sit there and allow something like this to happen. Somebody's like, I found the video. You found it? I don't even know the name of it no more. I was it, as I said, just type in 50 Cent and King Kong, and people now are really intrigued by that video. Oh, there it is. Casino mad at rumors Kong movie used 50 Cent images. I see it right now. That is the title. Casino mad at rumors Kong used 50 Cent images. So, mm-hmm. Blind man made that banner. I guess. You know what I got, buddy? I got old school money. I'm still spending old school money. That's what an old $20 bill look like. Still got old money. Mm-hmm. I was spending money when they got the small faces. See? Still spending old people money. I got old money. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. Who in here agrees with Steve Harvey? I've been spending money since they had the small faces. Y'all want to ride with us? Slip in on your pippin, toss it up. Money on thing. So you say he was giving that straight talk. So you say Steve was giving that straight talk, huh? Okay, I feel you. Steve Harvey was giving that straight talk. You know we took that straight talk. That straight talk. $3 million cash bumper friend. Start sipping sub, I'm in geek dancing. See? Steve has to learn integrity comes first. Once you compromise your integrity, they know they can get anything out of you they want. They got you. What do I do for a living? I exist. About all I can say. I exist. My cash app is $Carcino. Or you could click the link in the description box. So let's say you guys are looking for jobs, you guys are looking for work, you have a certain field that you're looking for. Click the link in the description box, leave a donation, leave a message in there, and let me know exactly what you're looking for, where you live at, or like what area, what city, what town. I'll send you the jobs that's out there that's paying money that you guys probably couldn't find online. I can get you some help that way. Yeah, man, I've been catching Star Show, man. I've been trying to email them from time to time. You know, I don't know what's going on over there with Grizzy and everything. I hit Grizzy. I'm like, Grizzy, how you want me to send you the money? And I ain't never heard nothing back from him. That's right, James. Whenever you choose money over your own integrity, you're done. They got you. They got you right where they want you. And that's something me I can't do. I can't waive my integrity. Can't do it. My integrity is gonna mean something. If that was the case, I would be a very rich man right now. Very rich. I wouldn't be happy, but I'll be rich. Rich beyond my imagination. All I had to do was play ball. If I would have played ball, I'd be rolling in it right now. I'll be kissing up to these artists. I think that black people are just miserable. What do you think? Don't you think they just reaching? Oh yeah, they'd have had. They look for that. it seems like we're just always complaining, right? Isn't that what it thinks? Sometimes it's just we just need to just do better. Right? I have way too much integrity to play that position. And unfortunately, we have a lot of those guys that are playing that position. And the majority of them didn't come up in the know-how or the history of Black people. So we expect too much of them. Some people didn't even come from this country. And they didn't even experience any racism. They be like, well, I didn't experience any racism. So it don't exist. If you were thinking the media and journalism having integrity, those guys are gone now. There's no more. Yeah, I know. That's this is the episode. I gotta wait 2 weeks to see an episode I don't want to see on the Flash. I don't want to see no more King Shark. That's the week I gotta sit out. Mm. This chick hit me up. Oh, Doom on fire. I haven't seen Doom Patrol yet. Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it. Star just went live, I think. No, I ain't sending that. Now I will keep teaching. Right, because once you give up your integrity, your word, and you don't mean or stand for anything, you're nothing. And then once they break you down to nothing and you don't have any money, no nothing no more, now what? Now you got to run back to the same people you've been bashing and kicking down. But hey guys, I'm back. Hey, yeah, I messed up, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, man, I was tripping, man. You know you was right. They don't care about us. You see? And this is what happened. Michael Jackson was the same way. All these other celebrities, don't get them wrong, they were the same way. Michael Jackson had an opportunity and he tried. He tried. But they scared him because see, Michael was so young, he never knew the concept of money. Period. He just points something and say he wanted and they get it. And I want those. I want 3 of these and I want 2 of those. And what they would do is get him for Michael. Period. They would get him for Michael. They'll say, hey, Mike want that? Grab it. Mike don't know what it costs. Mike don't know how to tip somebody. Mike don't know. Floyd Mayweather don't know. He don't know what's a proper tip and what's not a proper tip. So he over tips. He'd be like, here's 100. I know it's probably more, but at least you can never say I didn't tip you well. But Michael Jackson did the same thing. And only when Michael Jackson tried to do something that they said, hey, wait a minute, you going against the grain. But Michael was, this is what's best for me. Michael tried to create his own thing outside of them. And they were like, wait, hell no. That's when they wanted to sabotage Michael Jackson. He was owning too much. He was doing something way out of the box. He's owning the Beatles catalog. He got all this. Hey, wait a minute. We ain't tell you to do this. How the heck this Negro get this? She sold it to him. Who? Yoko Ono. Why? Paul McCartney was mad as hell. And he's like, Paul, this was your idea. You told me to go out and buy music and own it. That was the way to make money for the rest of my life. Yeah, but I didn't mean my music. You own the Beatles. You bought my music. It's okay, Paul. You can still use the music. I don't care. You're my friend. No, I want to own it. Sell it to me. No. Why would he do that? Oh no, he was never gonna get Elvis. He tried to get some of Elvis songs, but he couldn't. He couldn't touch Elvis. Couldn't touch Elvis songs. So he had Lisa Marie Presley, which pissed off everybody because Elvis was a known racist. And now you got Lisa Marie Presley and all the people that's signed with aligned with her. They didn't really deal with too many brothers. Yeah, then Paul McCartney became his biggest enemy. Then you find out who your friends are. Then here come the lies. They use Oprah Winfrey to tear down Michael Jackson. Once Oprah, no one got a chance to film or see inside of Michael Jackson's house until Oprah came in there and interviewed Michael at the Neverland Ranch. And they saw the hospital bed, all the kids in there, and he was like, there we go. He got those kids in there. That can't be legal. Find out what's going on with them kids. There we go. We're going to get them with kids. Right after that, all the controversy come down. Michael Jackson got this illegal hospital in there with these kids with cancer, and they treating them. Who's watching this house? Then it went from that to he's molesting 3 of the kids. It's like, what? All of this happened off of the interview. Straight up. All that off the interview. Michael acquired a lot of different platforms, a lot of things he was building on his own that was worth billions. He paid 40 million for the Beatles catalog. That catalog today is worth about 2.2 billion. Now, Michael Jackson was trying to set up something outside of what other people were doing. But when Michael Jackson and brothers needed Michael to stand up and be the man, like, Mike, come on, man, stand up for the brothers, man. You got to do this and do that. Mike went there for him. But once they started stripping everything down and stripping Mike down, and Mike had to go back to the hood, he with Al Sharpton and Reverend Jesse Jackson over there in Harlem, talking about Sony and everything else. So Mike had power. You got Tommy Mantola fired. You got some power. That's a very, very powerful man, and you got that man fired. That's what I'm saying. Powerful, powerful thing. Now I understand integrity is something I'm gonna keep at all costs. I can't be confined to someone else's ideals. Now, here's the thing: as Black people, and this is what I understand things like what's his name? I forget his name. He's a rap artist that I don't even know why he's called a rap artist, but what's his name? God dog it, Kodak. The guy from Florida. Now, this guy was the main person that we knew from way back when, right? When he came out, he kept going to jail. His songs are some of the most, you know, you look at where he come from and listen to how he talks and see the way he carries himself, you amazed that he's still alive. One. Seriously. I'm amazed that this guy is still alive. And I'm not saying that as a joke. I'm being dead serious. Well, John Lennon, look, John Lennon was a realist, but he was breaking up the Beatles. The Beatles was broken up. He was through with Paul, all of them. He was through with them. I still don't believe that was a random killing. I just don't. Anything this country told you in history, question all of it. If you were ever taught anything in life about anything in this country, question everything. Right. Or his story. That's the thing. You don't know. There are so many lies being told over things that's just happening right in front of us. It don't make any sense. The stories around 9/11 and the details around that don't make any sense. It don't make logical sense. So when you see something that just don't make logical sense to you, especially when they say somebody ran a 747 plane into the Pentagon, right? This is where everybody's mind should have been like, whoa, something's crazy here. A 747 into the Pentagon, and you got like a little chip, a little space here where this is here. There's no wing damage. Wingspan is way too long. Where's the wings? Where's the pieces of the plane? Where? 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 740, really? An airplane with bodies? There'll be body parts everywhere. They're going to do that little bit of damage? With a 747 plane going into a Pentagon? Go look at the photo. Right then and there, you got to be like, what the hell? This don't make no sense. The Pentagon's the most protected place in the world. And they got that little bitty video that's on the side of the camera thing. Is you just see a little explosion. And that don't even explain that. Of course it was, Juan. We got common sense. Our common sense tells us that's what happened. But as people, we ignore it and we move forward. Look, we all know. We all know through the lies we were told. We all know the truth. But we just move forward. And that's what we do. We turn our blind, we turn our eye to it and say that is something above our pay grade. Whatever happened there was way above our pay grade. We moving forward. wherever Carmelo Anthony go, no championship would follow. It does not. Carmelo is done. As far as he can't help the Lakers, he can't help any of these things. If I was him, why would I go to the Lakers? Your best bet is to go join the Golden State Warriors. People think Melo is still the same Melo. Melo's jump shot is not accurate. He's shooting like maybe under 30%. He can't guard anybody defensively. I mean, look, he's 30-something years old too. He's not, like I call him old Melo. Go, old Melo, go. Go, old Melo, go, old Melo. You are the one that they blame. You are the one that they blame. Like I told you, Steve Harvey found out. I mean, what's his name? Mac Bernie found out Steve Harvey was trying to snake him behind his back. That's why it was no Kings and Comedies Part 2. He stopped dealing with Steve Harvey. Steve tried to go behind his back and take movie roles from Bernie. And he was disappointed. He was really disappointed in Steve. Steve was mad because Bernie jumped over him. Steve had his shot. They put Steve in movies and it didn't work. And then when Bernie started doing movies, people liked Bernie. They thought Bernie was funnier. Even when the movies were bad, Bernie was in the movies. Bernie had done way more movies than Steve. Steve was jealous because he felt like I told the line. I did all the kissing up. I did all of this stuff. Then Bernie got a TV show. Steve's show was basically getting canceled. They was taking the Steve Harvey show off the air. Bernie was in the movies. He didn't really pop, but Bernie was great in every part he was ever in. He was great in Friday. He was great in every big role they ever put him in. Above the Rim, Players Club was definitely it. Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill! Chicago! Pay them country boys nothing. Mac had that pistol. Dollar Bill. Man, don't be pulling up on me like that. It's gonna be trouble. Trouble. Oh, they used to call you jawbone. Boy, your girl can suck the minutes. I know you know. You a lucky man. The whole dinner scene was the entire movie of House Party 3. The whole movie they could take and throw in the trash. That dinner scene was the whole movie. with Ronaldo Ray. I was expecting some it out you motherfuckers today. God, I'll definitely shoot you in that crazy itch. Ooh, she's a witch. Your mama a witch. I put a whammy bammy right on her right now. Ooh, my mama did. Now I got to cut you. That's the rule. Man, I cracked up laughing. Sit down, witch Hazel. Your mama witch a black bastard crusty mother. Oh, my mama did. Now I got to cut you. That's the rule. Man. Oh. Yep. Don't be a menace. I hate you. You just hate me because I'm black. We didn't even do nothing. You hate you, black bastard. You think the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck. I hate my gums because they black. I hate black pepper. That was hilarious. I hate Whoopi Goldberg's gums because they black. Whoopi Goldberg's lips, the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck. And I personally hate that black old Wesley Snipes. Man, I was cracking up laughing watching that. Man, y'all got me on here an hour. I was supposed to have been on here 10 minutes. Y'all got me up here an hour. Man, I got stuff to do. Y'all messing up my day.